Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Yeah, we're coming on now. Sorry, I just needed to ask a few topical. You weren't helping music. Hold on here. Under the weather, Lacy, and not feeling too hot today. Making some bad decisions. So Lacy McDonald is in studio because 100 years ago, the potato chip industry discontinued.
In Alton.
Yes.
Yes. It came back. Don't worry.
Oh, man. What a crisis. So
the ebbs and flows of potato chip history.
I love this. So how do we start? Because we were just talking. I didn't really. People used to make this stuff in their home.
Yeah, people used to make potato chips. The photo at the top of the article, and y'all can see if you go on RiverBender.com and look at the potato chip article.
Or I can just show them.
Or you can just show them. Okay, so this is from a... it was a pamphlet, really, that came out from the government printing office. Like, this is a Washington, government printing office publication from 1922 called Methods of Manufacturing Potato Chips. And it told you how to make potato chips in your home. There's a link to it on the article. But yeah, so this woman, this is not Nell Johnston, who we're talking about in the article, but this is an example of what you would be doing at home to make your own potato chips.
Not to cut you off.
No, that's okay.
I gotta mention something.
Yeah.
People go on a blog today to look up recipes or, how do you cook something. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine? I mean, just what you said. In 1924, if I wanted to learn how to make a potato chip and I didn't know, I'm going to my library and I'm getting a book or I'm finding some type of article or magazine that has that information. That's amazing.
You know what? It was also, this is one of the things I've kind of learned about. There were so many clubs. One that I'm going to talk a tiny bit about next time, and then maybe more in the future, is the Alton Horticultural Society. Like, people would meet and then talk about the best ways to grow blackberries.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it might have been that one person had this potato chip publication, or maybe it was at the library and you could go look at it. But and then everybody would kind of share information together in person, whereas now we just go look up Google how to make potato chips and try to figure it out ourselves.
Oh man, what's funny though is I wouldn't last because I'd have to take notes on everything people say to me because I forget half the time what conversation I had, let alone remembering pertinent details like how long does it have to be in that oil for, or how long does it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just pick up the phone and call them. I mean,
well, you couldn't even call them at this point.
It's just amazing to me how our brain had to focus and work back then.
Well, and also it was like a 22-page publication on making potato chips.
Oh, hell no.
You would have had the reference material at home. You wouldn't have had to remember it necessarily.
22 pages.
It was a whole pamphlet. I don't
remember.
remember.
Are you serious? I love it.
I don't remember exactly how long it was, but there were directions. Well, they were doing all these experiments to figure out what the best potatoes to make potato chips too. So there's a lot that didn't go in the article. If you want to know more about potato chip history than what I have provided, there are links and you can get it all.
Such a thing.
Yeah.
I love this.
I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
So how prevalent was the potato chip industry in Alton, Illinois in 1924?
Well, so in 1923, the year before, almost exactly a year before, Nell Johnston, who I think had just moved here, her husband's family was from the area, but they had just moved back pretty much right before that from Kansas City, maybe? It's all in, well, maybe that part's not on here. It's all in my notes at the library if you want to know what city she lived in before. But came here, and there were ads in the paper twice a week for the next year. Come to Schwegel's Market, get fresh potato chips made by Mrs. Johnston, et cetera, et cetera. And so, home cooks would produce the potato chips, take them to the various grocery stores where you could go buy them. And the issue was they weren't easy to keep fresh. So at this time, I think they were mostly sold in paper bags or barrels. You just come get your potato chips out of the barrel, I guess, and like a scoop. And so in 1924, in July 1924, Johnston notified the telegraph readers, there was an announcement that the industry did not thrive enough to warrant its continuance in Alton. So not enough people wanted potato chips in 1924 to keep producing them, at least for this home cook.
So that is incredible to me. So you just went in, like, you know, COVID does this to you. You know, think about all that free popcorn you used to be grabbing. You know,
bars are totally different now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and try to stick your hand in a popcorn machine in this day and age, you know, and see who looks at you. It's amazing. So they literally would just, how long, I hate to ask you this because you know, but how long would these things last out in Schwegel's?
Well, probably not a long time. And I assume, this is me assuming, I assume that like the grocery store proprietor would like scoop out your potato chips for you. But I don't know. That's just guessing.
These are the same people that were still drinking mercury, you know, for medicine. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Like I don't know if Coca-Cola had changed its recipe yet.
Also, back when the time when Quaalude was a weight loss drug.
Yeah, you know, we learn over time.
We evolve. Oh man.
So yeah, they didn't last a super long time. That was the other issue. You couldn't get a bag of potato chips and then eat them 2 weeks later. And that's part of why the potato chip industry as a whole didn't really do super well during that time period, because before that it had been more like you go to a restaurant, you get potato chips there. But then in 1926, and this is on the where is this? This is on the Smithsonian Institute website. So they had a great potato chip article.
That's a verified source.
Yeah, verified source. Librarian. I got to give you verified sources.
This ain't a Wikipedia entry, folks.
In 1926, Laura Scudder, who had a family potato chip business in California, closely examined the properties of wax paper and had an idea. She asked her employees to hand iron sheets of wax paper into bags, fill the bags with potato chips, and seal the tops with a warm iron. And so the wax bags kept the potato chips fresher longer. They weren't as easily crushed as they had been in just getting them out of the barrel, I guess. And she's also credited with being the first person to imprint a freshness date on food products in general. So this is just 2 years later. 2 years, you know, Mrs. Johnston just missed the boat on potato chip industry.
She should have hung around.
But yeah, so soon after that, we figured out a better way to do potato chips. And I also love kind of the origin story of potato chips.
So a couple of questions I got for you here.
Okay.
Let's start off with this one. What is the Tater Flake Factory?
The Tater Flake Factory. So the Tater Flake Company of Chicago had this machine that would peel, slice, fry, and then I just push out potato chips. And it was a quick process. There was a propeller rotating the flakes through the oil, and it could make 400 ounces of chips an hour, but which was way, way more than you can make in your home kitchen.
Yeah.
And at one point, they actually had the machine, I think, in the window of the Telegraph building so people could come by and see the potato chips
like a tourist attraction?
Yeah.
I love it.
I thought that was really cool. But that was like 1925 when that was happening here, because, and then I found some other articles, like there was one from the Davenport, Iowa newspaper in 1924 that actually talked about how the machine worked. So I got my information about exactly how it worked from another newspaper in Iowa.
I love it. So the oldest reference to potato chips in the Alton Evening Telegraph is from 1902.
Yes.
But what are these Saratoga chips?
Saratoga chips. So this is what I was mentioning about the origin story of potato chips.
Yeah.
So apparently in the 1950s, I think, 1950s, a man named George Crum, his original name was George Speck, but he changed it to George Crum, lived in Saratoga Lake, New York. He was a cook, a chef in the Moon Lake Lodge Resort. And they had a dish then called French fried potatoes, which you cut the potatoes lengthwise, lightly fry them. And so he made these for a customer. The customer sent them back several times complaining that they were too soft and he wanted them to be crisper and they were too thick. And so George Crum cut them, sent them back. the guy sent them back to the kitchen. And so he finally like took a razor blade and like shaved them super, super thin, fried them for way longer than he thought would be the right amount, and then just sprinkled a ton of salt over them. Just kind of like in defiance, like, all right, you're going to send this stuff back to the kitchen. You're going to get exactly what you asked for, and you're going to hate it. And the guy loved it. So then other people started asking for these Saratoga chips. And so a couple years later, Crumb opened his own restaurant, and they had a basket of the chips at every table.
I hope this guy was like Rockefeller that was ordering food that day.
So that was actually part of the legend. Was that it might have been it was somebody.
Are
like
you
I think it
serious?
was Vanderbilt.
Are
I think
you
it was Vanderbilt.
serious? I was joking
yeah.
because like the way this guy was being, I hate to say it, but an asshole. And I mean, it's like I hope he's worth a ton of money.
I think the legend was Vanderbilt, but then they had a couple other ways that could have happened. Crumb was definitely the person that popularized the Saratoga chips, but it might have also been his sister who created them.
Look at you, Lacy McDonald, with adding a little bit of the packaging in here. Let me take off this lower third here. Let me see here. Look at that.
Yeah, I got that from the Saratoga Chips website. They have some really cool history.
Do they still make Saratoga? Is that a brand?
They do, yes. It's called originalsaratogachips.com is the website, but they just have Saratoga chips, and they had this original packaging from the 1800s, I assume.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what? This company is still around. This is incredible.
Yeah, you can go buy chips that are probably similar to what they were like in the 1800s. I mean, it's like kettle chips, basically.
That's really what they are.
So, yeah.
You know what I always find fascinating, this is a stupid question, is how do people just come up with these ideas on how to cook things?
Well, in this case, they didn't. They were trying to like, well, give the customer what they wanted, but also the customer was not being pleasant about it. And then the other possible way that they were invented was that his sister, Crumb's sister, Kate Speck Wicks, who also worked at the Moon Lake Lodge Resort, accidentally dropped a thin slice of potato in hot oil, and George Crumb brought it out, tasted it, and said, we're going to start selling these. So accidents are a lot of ways that things get invented.
That is incredible.
Or defiance, I guess.
I just love this. I mean, this is a wonderful story.
Yeah.
So what is your overview of the chip industry in Alton 100 years ago?
My overview is that it didn't work out as well as it was originally.
We could have been the next Saratoga.
We could have been the next Saratoga. I mean, she said she planned to make Alton famous for her potato chips, just as many another city is famous for its products. So we could have been the potato chip capital.
Take a note out of Nell Johnston's page here. You didn't support Nell Johnston in 1923. 2 years later, it was a thriving business because we didn't see Nell Johnston's glory. And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Think about this. You know, how many businesses I go, that could have been a winner in 5 years.
Well, but she would have needed to come up with the wax paper idea, too. So it's a little bit on her.
You know what? That's true, Nell. That's true. I just wait until I get a relative that calls me today.
I know. Sorry.
Oh, what a conversation, though. So what'd you write about this time around the horn?
So I wrote about flowers in Alton and also strawberries.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Really, strawberries.
Strawberries. Yeah. So, okay, it all started this. I've told you that I find articles and then I kind of see where it takes me.
Yeah.
So I mentioned several weeks ago that I had one coming up where it was either going to be about flowers in Alton or about a fire at the automobile dump.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went with flowers and...
Flowers over fire.
Flowers over fire. Well, okay, it got complicated, and maybe I'll end up writing about this again, but it got really complicated because I was trying to, figure out how to explain where the dump was because it got moved several times. And, it was, I think it was at the foot of Henry Street at one point. Yeah, just by the river. You would just take all your trash and dump it by the river next to Henry Street.
Oh my God.
And they were like, well, this is unsightly. Let's move it down 2 blocks.
Oh my God.
So I moved it down 2 blocks and it still was unsightly, but was a little bit further down the river. So it wasn't right at the foot of Henry Street. Still by the river though. And so the article that, I can talk about this because I didn't end up writing it. There was a fire and apparently there were fires at dumps a lot, but it was one that didn't go out quickly.
Coined the phrase dumpster fire.
Right. And it was related to the fact that when people couldn't use cars anymore, they could still use a lot of the parts, but the top was useless. So they were dumping the tops of cars in the dump, and they caught fire because people were also just throwing whatever out there, probably lit cigarettes and whatever else. And actually, I don't know the history of cigarettes.
Napalm, whatever.
You know, your extra
TNT that you didn't use to blow up the mine.
your leftover fireworks.
Yeah.
And so this fire had been going on for several days, and they were having trouble putting it out. But yeah, so anyway, I didn't write about that because I couldn't figure out how to explain where the dump was without like making a bunch of maps, and I don't have time for that.
You know what? It would be interesting to write to learn more about when the sewers were actually implemented in the city of Alton, because not a lot of people know that until like 1964 that a lot of our sewer just went right out into that river.
Oh yeah,
you know,
well, I didn't realize it was 1964. How did you know that?
Because my grandpa owned Rigdon Sewer Service.
Okay,
and
cool.
has a little bit of background on it, but he has a whole thing. He told me the whole lineup of it. It's wild.
There are so many things that you just take for granted.
Like, could you imagine? That's why I always never touch that water. I'm like, listen, there is a lot that's been dumped into that river over the years, and that's for the fish to eat and me to not touch. You know? But we should have touched Nell Johnson's chips. We could have been the Alton Chip Company, the Johnston Chip Company.
The Johnston
Whatever
Chip
happened to Nell? Whatever happened to old Nellie?
She died like really soon after that, actually. Yeah, she died.
Oh, that's really sad.
In December of that same year. So she didn't even get to see
It's probably a good
chip
thing.
innovations of
Probably a good thing. She probably could have
future.
felt bad about it.
She might have. Yeah, she was.
That is so cool, though, that Schwegel's
Yeah.
has such an important spot, though.
Yeah, there were a lot of
Yeah.
grocery stores that were mentioned in different ads, but I wanted to connect it to Schwegel's
I
because
love it,
Schwegel's is still
Lacy.
here. So I always try to do that. I try to connect whatever
Yeah.
I'm researching to now so that you can like feel connected to the past.
What I think's really cool too, if you guys check out Lacy's articles, they're very well written, and there's always so many sources in there, and you can discover so much more too. And click on one source, and then you realize, well, there's an encyclopedia of other information you can find too. Lacy, I'm excited to talk about flowers next week.
Yeah, flowers and strawberries.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
You know, I drew strawberries once. I tried.
You drew? You grew strawberries.
Sorry, grew. Yes, tried.
How many did you get?
0. But it happened. But it happened. At 10:07 and a little bit of change, Lacy McDonald, thank you for your time today. I am dying. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Taking a quick break, and a daily show on a Wednesday smacks you right in the nose after this.